Hello everyone, you're here with Kirk and Gora from PickDawgz, and we are here to talk about some European soccer matchups that we have on Sunday, September 22nd. Kicking it off with the EPL and moving on to La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A, and the French League One, guys. You're getting a bunch of free picks. In addition to this video, where you have, I think, 10 or 11 free picks, actually 10 or 11 games, we do have a few more videos with some of those bigger games, bigger derbies on Sunday as well. It's all up on the PickDawgz YouTube channel, so make sure you check it out, guys. Make sure you hit that like button and, of course, subscribe to the PickDawgz YouTube channel as well. For our preview picks, click the links in the description of this video. Sign up either for my or Kirk's, get a daily pass, 3-day pass, or even a 7-day pass. Or better yet, put both of us in that 2 for Handicapper promotion and get all of our preview picks for the duration of your pass. Now let's get this show on the road. Kirk, Brighton and Nottingham Forest, the first one. Nottingham Forest lost only one of their last 6 games. They are coming off of a massive win against Liverpool last week, but Brighton has been absolutely outstanding this season. Undefeated in their last, I think, 10 games in a row, and especially when playing at home, they look really, really well and scoring a lot of goals.
Yeah, as you said, Brighton, they look really good. They both these teams have the exact same record, 2 wins, 2 draws. Brighton has 6 goals, Nottingham has 4. They both conceded 2 goals. But Brighton at home, I side with them in this one. They've won their last 2 against Nottingham Forest, and I think this is when Nottingham come back down to earth a little bit. So I'm going with Brighton on the money line in this one at around minus 135.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take anything away from Nottingham Forest. They're a very solid team. They are coming off of a win against Liverpool, like I said, on the road, nonetheless. But for them to win 2 games on the road in a row, I think that would be something special, something spectacular. And honestly, I think that Brighton just gets the job done in this one. They are overall more solid. They have more depth right now, and they're fairly healthy. So I agree with you, Kirk. I'm taking Brighton on the money line as well. Now, off to Spanish Liga, where we have Athletic Bilbao hosting Celta Vigo, and this one could potentially be a very interesting and very fun game to watch. Athletic Bilbao on a nice winning streak. Celta Vigo has won some games as well, and they're one of those teams who just cannot keep a clean sheet.
Yeah, no, as you said, I mean, Celta Vigo, they can't keep a clean sheet right now at all, but they also just can't stop scoring, it seems like. And Bilbao, they've been good recently defensively for the most part, but they've started to score goals again, scoring 5 goals in their last 2 games. So I'm going with the pretty easy way out. I feel like in this one, both teams to score in over 2.5, and we're getting plus money for plus 106. I don't see how this doesn't happen because it's happened in Celta Vigo's last 5 games. And with Bilbao starting to score again now, I don't see how Bilbao keeps Celtic Vigo to a clean sheet.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this one a little bit further. I do like goals in this one, Kirk. I do love your pick as well. I think it's gonna be a fun game, like you said. Celta Vigo really is scoring a lot right now, but they're also conceding a lot. But Bilbao is simply playing too well right now, so I'm gonna take Bilbao to win and over 2.5 goals plus 147. I love the price. I simply had to take it, and I think that we are both getting a nice winner out of this game. So I have Bilbao to win and over 2.5 goals. You have both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. So let's cash on this one. Rayo Vallecano will be hosting Atletico Madrid. Kirk, Atletico Madrid got a late winner against Leipzig for 2-1 in the Champions League, while Rayo Vallecano, they have simply been all over the place this season, and there's a pretty big reason why they are the underdogs at home, such big underdogs when playing at home. While Atletico Madrid on a 3-game winning streak, and do we think they get the job done here in this one as well?
I mean, yeah, they should. They're on a 3 game winning streak, haven't lost in 5 straight games, and they've only conceded twice this whole season in 5 games, and those were both in 1 game. So they've kept 4 clean sheets, which is the most in the competition. As you said, Vallecano, they've kind of been all over the place. 2 wins, 2 draws, or 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw in their last 5 games. Atletico, they should win this one on the road. I have them at minus 135, but I know what you're going to say. So definitely go with Goron's picks and always go with your line shopping as well.
Yeah, definitely, guys. Do your line shopping. I'm sure that we can expect some rotations in the lineup for Atletico Madrid as they played in the Champions League. But overall, they're playing really well right now. Griezmann scored a goal. They are solid defensively. They have very, very strong midfield right now. They have the depth. So Atletico Madrid on the money line for me as well. I'm getting it minus 118, guys. That's why we keep saying sign up with the book that gives you the best price. Never leave the money on the table because they will not give it back to you if you miss that. So do your shopping, guys, and get the best possible lineup. And take Atletico Madrid on the money line for this one. Now to the Italian Serie A, Kirk. The first game we have to talk about is between Fiorentina and Lazio. Fiorentina has been also all over the place this season. They are playing next week, actually the week after that, might be in the Conference League or something like that. But there's still ways to go to that game. While Lazio is playing against Dinamo Kiev next week in the Europa League. And I don't know, just seems like both teams have been fairly sloppy recently with their form, and I'm honestly not sure what we can expect out of them in this game.
Yeah, no, I don't know what to expect here either, but I'm expecting goals. Both these teams have been pretty sloppy. Fiorentina have scored and conceded in their last 3 games. Lazio have scored and conceded in their last 4 games. So I'm going with goals in this one. I'm going with both teams to score at minus 126. I think at least both teams get on the score sheet here.
Yeah, I'll be a bit more conservative now. Well, maybe not conservative, but I'm not necessarily thinking this is going to be a goalless game or anything like that. I could potentially see a 1-1 as Fiorentina hasn't lost any of their last like 11 home games or something like that. But quality-wise, I think that both teams are fairly similar right now. And their sloppy form overall, I think will have a huge say in this one. So I think this game is made for a draw, if I'm being honest. It's plus 210, still very decently priced. I expect that to drop a little bit to around plus 195, plus 200 as we approach the game time. But 1-1 draw, I honestly think that's a very reasonable result to expect in this game. For our second pick in Serie A, Kurt, we have Monza and Bologna, and I think this is the one where we gonna go against each other once again. And I know your pick. I honestly think it's a bit risky, but you never know. It is Italian Serie A we are talking about.
Yeah, there's no risk in this one, let me tell you that.
Huh?
Um, the last 3 meetings between Bologna and Monza have had a total of 1 goal. 1 goal. That's insane. Bologna, they're coming off a 0-0 draw in the Champions League. Monza, they're coming off a 1-1 draw. So I'm going with under 1.5 goals here at plus 200. I really love this play. I had under 1.5 in the Sociedad versus Valladolid game. That ended 0-0, and I could see something similar in this one, honestly.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the opposite way as you might expect. Since we are getting the over 2.5 at such a great price, it's plus 135 right now. And I am aware that they haven't been scoring a lot of goals in this matchup at all. But you know what? Monza has been scoring goals quite consistently. They scored a couple against Fiorentina. They've scored a goal against Inter last week as well. While Bologna is coming off of a 0-0 draw in the Champions League against Shakhtar, but before that they had a 2-2 draw against Como. They had a 1-1 draw against Empoli, lost 3-0 to Napoli on the road as well. So I think the case potentially could be made for the over and the under as well. But I'm taking the over 2.5 at plus 135. Kirk, you have under 1.5 at plus 200. Uh, I don't know. We'll see how this one's gonna end up. The worst thing would be 1-1. So that would kill both of us. But hopefully we see either a very bad game or a very good game. So we'll see how this was gonna end up. The last pick in Serie A, Kirk, is between Roma and Udinese. Roma, who is getting into this game with a new head coach. There's been a big development this week, so they fired De Rossi after a series of, I wouldn't call them bad results, but after a series of games where they couldn't get a win despite playing against some of the bad opponents. While Udinese on the other side is undefeated in their last 5, and they are now on a 3-game winning streak, which is something that hasn't happened to this team in probably a couple of years or so.
Yeah, no, Udinese is flying right now. They're in second place. They were in first going into this week, but they're playing on Sunday, so that's why someone overtook them. I honestly don't even know who's in first right now. It's Torino, okay. And then, yeah, as you said, De Rossi's out, new head coach. Roma hasn't won a game all season long. I think it's going to be tough for them to win their first game in this one under new coach against Udinese, who's really just flying in the sky right now. I don't know how else to say it. And we're getting them at plus 120 for the double chance for a team that hasn't lost in 5 games. for a team against a team that hasn't won in 4 games, I'm going with Udinese on the double chance at plus 120.
Normally, I would agree with you, but I find it that whenever teams change the coach, there's usually a positive shock happening with all the players and around the team as well. You know that everybody's eager to prove themselves, everybody's eager to get that starting 11 spot, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen here with Roma. They're playing at home. Yes, they're playing against a very solid team in a great form, but overall, I think that Roma probably has more quality than Udinese, and we'll see what the new head coach will do, but I'm gonna take a chance with Roma here on the money line, minus 154. I took them already this season. I regretted it. I think it's time for them to give me something back in return. So I'm taking Roma on the money line. Now, Kirk, we are off to Bundesliga where we have a few interesting matchups. Like we said, Leverkusen is hosting Wolfsburg. Leverkusen, who is coming off of a very impressive win in the Champions League. And after that loss to Leipzig, what was it, a few weeks ago in Bundesliga, they find their way back. They are creating a ton of chances, scoring a lot of goals. And Wolfsburg, even though they were solid at the start of the season, I think that they will suffer in this game.
Yeah, as I've preached in this Leverkusen season so far, they're not the same team as of last year. They're not scoring these late goals to get a tie or get a win. They're coming out hot and early this season. So I've been doing it all season long. It's pretty much hit in every single game all season. I think it's 5 for 5. I'm going with Leverkusen on the first half money line at minus 155. It is a little bit juiced, but hey, I think it's the right play.
Yeah, I'm gonna side with Leverkusen completely here, Kirk. I think that Wolfsburg is a bit sloppy defensively, and honestly, there aren't many teams in the world who can stop Leverkusen's offense right now, no matter what their name is. It takes a lot of defensive skill and coordination and a lot of experience to stop this team and to stop all the players that Leverkusen has. So I'm taking Leverkusen to win and over 2.5 goals at minus 143. Now, the second Bundesliga pick game, Kirk, is between St. Pauli and Leipzig. Like we said, Leipzig coming off of a late loss in the Champions League against Atletico. Like we said, they had a lead in that game, 1-0, but then they dropped it. While St. Pauli, the newcomer to Bundesliga, and I mean, they will be struggling probably the entire season. But right now, they are on a 3-game losing streak, and they've scored only 1 goal in those 3 games.
Yeah, I actually think this is sort of a trap game for Leipzig here. I followed Pauli through the Bundesliga B, and they're not a bad team. They've got some good players, but so I think this is going to be a tough game for Leipzig. Sam Pauli's actually won the last 3 games against Leipzig. Yes, those were a while ago, but I think that still means something. It shows that they can beat this team. So I'm not going with Pauli here, but I think there's going to be a lot of goals. I think Pauli get on the score sheet here once or twice. Leipzig, they'll definitely score once or twice as well. I could see a 2-1 win either way, honestly. So I'm going with over 2.5 at minus 160.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent price on the over 2.5. And I do agree. I think that St. Pauli is a solid team. A lot better in Bundesliga too, most definitely, because there's that big quality gap between Bundesliga and Bundesliga too. There's no doubt about it. They might do enough this season to stay in Bundesliga for at least another one after this, but I think that Leipzig will do everything they can to bounce back in this game after that loss in the Champions League. So I'm gonna go with Leipzig to win at over 1.5 goals at minus 116. Now, Kirk, that we're done with Bundesliga, we are moving on to the French League One, where we have a few games to talk about, and the first one being between Monaco and Le Havre. Like we said, Monaco defeating Barcelona in the Champions League. Thankfully for that red card that Barcelona got. Uh, they are pretty heavy favorites at home against Le Havre right now. The team that had some solid results, but they're coming off of a win against Toulouse. And Le Havre on the road is not that good of a team, especially now when Monaco is flying pretty high, I would say.
Yeah, Monaco's flying right now. They've only conceded 1 goal in this 4 games in League One this season. 7 goals scored, 1 conceded. So I'm going with both teams to score equals no in this one at minus 106. I think that's great value. It is always a little bit. I don't love these bets because you have to, if Monaco score early, then you have to wait all game long to kind of cash this bet. And if Le Havre scores early, it's kind of already chalked because Monaco, they're not going to be held. But that's where I see the value here.
Yeah, I think that's a solid pick, but for your and mine to hit, we need Monaco to score 3 goals, which I don't think it's impossible, especially after that win against Barcelona in the Champions League, where honestly, with that win, Monaco won like 2 million euros or something like that because every point is worth 700,000 euros. So they are making money, but more importantly for them, they are getting a win. Their morale is pretty high right now, and you know what? I just see them coming out flying and getting another home win. So I'm taking Monaco to win and over 2.5 goals at -111. Now, Kurt, Montpellier and Auxerre is another matchup we have in the French League One. If I'm being honest, I was looking at Montpellier here to bounce back and to finally get a win, but the amount of injuries they have right now, I simply cannot put my money on this team, despite the fact that they are playing against Auxerre, who is struggling almost as much as they are with 3 losses in a row right now.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a tough one. I was trying to find value here. I was kind of looking at Montpellier as well, but I didn't see the value there. Three of the last four games between these two teams have been a first half draw. That's where I see the value here at +120. And 2 games ago, we actually saw 4 red cards between these two teams. So we could be in for a 9 versus 9 game here, which would be pretty fun to see.
Yeah, definitely. I could see a bit of a rough game, but I have to go with goals in this one, Kirk. The defense is a big problem for both of these teams. So I'm going to go with both teams to score in over 2.5 at -120. I think potentially both teams will go for the win here. At least they will try go for the win because at some point, one of them will bounce back. I know that Montpellier will eventually bounce back. They haven't beaten anyone in their last 11 games. Uh, could this be the game where they do that? I'm not sure. They still have so many injuries, so many suspended players as well. So I will stay away from sides for now, and I will take the goals. The last pick of this video, Kirk, another matchup in the French League One: Brest versus Toulouse. Brest coming off of a win in the Champions League against Sturm. We talked about that game. They failed to keep a clean sheet. Doesn't really matter because they did get a 2-1 win at home. And this is their second home win in a row. Do we think they can make it the third one?
I definitely do. I mean, that was their first ever game in European competition for Brest, and they came out with a 2-1 win. I think they're flying really high, and this is just the momentum's going to carry over. Home supporters are loving that, and I think they carry them to another win. We're getting them at plus money. That's what I like to see for a home team that I think is probably the better team. So I'm taking Brest on the money line here at +110.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there could be a bit of a problem with maybe being tired and stuff like that since they played in the Champions League. They're not used to that tempo at all. But Toulouse, not a good team in my opinion, especially when playing on the road. So I'm taking Brest on the money line as well. I'm getting it at +115. I'm a bit surprised that we're getting a plus money on Brest. They are the better team, especially when playing at home. They have 2 wins in a row, so I think that they will make it a third one and they will get another 3 points in the French League One. So take Brest on the money line. That's it, everyone. Thank you for joining us here. We appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that like button, guys. Put some bets in, let's win some money, and let's have a great Sunday all together. Thank you, guys. Good luck, and we'll see you soon with more free picks.